Advent has begun.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the main event, Luke?
What is it?
Fulham Man City tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Midweek football. What a way to usher in the Christmas month.
How about that?
I'm looking forward to the darts starting as well.
Oh, I think we all are.
Yeah.
I think we all
Won't be long now.
Yeah.
That's when Christmas really starts for me.
Uh-huh.
Is Littler winning it all?
Could be. Could do. He could do. I mean, he's obviously ridiculous. It's to me, it's the sport of Christmas, darts.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Right.
I'd agree with that.
Well, gives me an idea for a podcast.
Along with football, of course.
Along with football.
Football's a very close second place.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. David, good to have you back.
It is good to have David back, isn't it?
It's nice to be back, yeah.
We've got a lot to talk about, as we always do. Your beloved Sunderland will be coming up later. My beloved Fulham, of course. But we're going to start with some people's beloved Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. What a game at the top of the table in Stamford Bridge. It was a feisty encounter, and I tell you what, we've got our game back.
Yeah, it was a great examination of Arsenal.
Oh, yes,
it was good on Chelsea for giving Arsenal a thorough examination in the way that no one has done since Sunderland, probably.
Yeah, well, you would say. I mean, Chelsea obviously played over half the match with 10 men, but Chelsea were, we saw what they did to Barcelona, a handful of days prior to that. Can they keep that intensity? Can they have that team spirit and all the rest of it? We know they're capable of doing it, but they showed it in bucket loads against Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, Marco Correa kind of set the tone. And then I think after he just got involved with it, you're like, okay, this is going to be a bit feisty. And then everything preceding that was really, really feisty, really scrappy, in a very, very good way. I've seen Arteta was speaking after the game and he goes, not much football. Yeah, and I was like, yes, that was what was
that's
great about it. Yeah, that's what was
it
great about it. It was
like the odd Ramble episode here and there. Not much football.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a nice throwback to like old Premier League games, proper Barclays, as they would say. I was expecting Keys and Gray to come in over the top at some point.
Oh, thank goodness they didn't.
Felt like that. Yeah.
But the biggest compliment you could pay Chelsea, I think, would be that because some people, perhaps even the man to my left here, has cast doubt on the authenticity of Chelsea's quality. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
But in this game, they did genuinely look like them and Arsenal were the two best teams in the division.
Yes, I agree with you.
And I think
there.
you have to say that. I think, I've not seen another team, but with due respect to Sunderland, it was quite a different game than the one we saw yesterday. I've not seen a team like that put Arsenal under so much pressure and to really look to capitalise on the players that Arsenal had missing and do all that with a really key player. Some would say the best midfield player in the world missing for 60 minutes or whatever it was. It was a really good game. It's so entertaining. It was exactly the kind of thing that makes the Premier League such a marketable asset to the rest of the world, because I don't think you see games of that intensity and that pace for that long across the whole 90 minutes anywhere else.
But the football purists would be saying not much football. And that's the thing. So I know what you mean, but I think but my point is that when you say it's so marketable and everybody kind of enjoyed it, it's like I
agree with it. I think my interpretation of Arteta's comments, I didn't see them in detail. I just heard it there from David. Is that what he probably means is, I don't really want my team playing like that or being dragged into the trenches like that every week, because it means there's too many variables and we are going to get caught out sooner or later. Yeah. It's like the whole boxer versus fighter analogy, right? A boxer wants to box. A fighter knows he can't outbox a boxer, so he wants to drag him down and make it a punch up.
And a lover wants to love.
Well, that's your department. Yeah, we were talking about Sven before we came on today, weren't we? Talking about the great man and his natural successor down there at the table.
My wife does. I hope not.
But I think there's a lot of football in this game, just a different kind of football than perhaps Arteta wants. There's a lot of counter-attacking going on. There's a lot of pace. There's a lot of technical ability, I thought.
Oh, the football
but it was just intense and it was physical. It was really, really physical. And absolutely, if you're at home and you know that Arsenal have got Gabriel and Saliba out, why wouldn't you make it physical? And I thought that Hincapié and Mosquera did well. They both picked up yellow cards.
They targeted Hincapié, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They really did. Every time anyone near him, clutch in the face.
But I think he more often than not, he stood up to it. I thought
he did. Him and Pedro Neto, that one where Neto goes through. Yeah. He was giving it plenty to him, and I remember thinking, still half an hour to go, lad. Yeah.
Someone dragged him away, and then Raya kind of gave him a pat on the back, and he said, "Get to the back post."
Anybody have a problem with the sending off?
Not particularly. No. David?
Oh,
there we go.
All right. No, not massively, but
a little bit.
It was rash and everything like that. I just think he did go for the ball, but I guess if you make contact like that, then you're out open to a red, especially in these new sanitized rules that we operate within these days.
I miss the 90s as well. Okay, but that was a red card.
Yeah. Under the laws of the game, he needs to be walking. For
I had people saying that Gyökeres should have got a red as well for his dive into the goalkeeper.
No, I think that was a
It
yellow.
was just ridiculous. I was like, red, it's not red. These people have been radicalised by all these new rules.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's true, actually. I heard they're going to camps.
Yeah.
They're going to camps and they're watching old football and they're being radicalised.
Yes, they
They
are.
go to Stockley Park to do this.
They do, yeah. I think
Clearly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's an extremist training camp, Stockley Park.
Yeah. That was Chelsea's 6th red card in all competitions this season. 7 if you include Enzo Maresca's.
Oh, I think we should include it.
Should he have got sent off again? That colour of tracksuit.
Yeah, maybe. Did he give his balls a little tickle as well? Or
I didn't
see that.
We
time,
weren't
did
treated to that.
But-
And treated, yes, I used that language.
Why do people keep saying, "Oh, if you include Maresca"? I mean, the
Right,
rules
on pitch red.
the rules have been brought in that they now show red cards to the manager. Back in the day, they used to say, "Right, off you go."
No, because I think on field
So
it's
it
much
counts.
more.
No, but it counts.
Well, they're fine.
He gets
but-
a ban. He gets a ban.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
fine, but he's not on the pitch, so is he? So you know, if you lose your manager in the dugout, that may or may not have an effect on the
But
game.
it's still a disciplinary issue.
Oh, fine.
Oh,
Well,
it
okay,
is.
so it depends. I'm saying that it's Chelsea's 6th red card, and yet they're still in good stead in the league. They're
They've
still
only
going
finished
strong.
with 11 players in 3 of their last 9 games.
Yeah,
It's wild.
that is wild.
And you've
I've
got
got
to
to say.
listen, I'm starting to get very, very close to basically respecting Chelsea. And I never thought I'd hear myself say
I
that.
should love them in theory, really.
They're getting stuck in.
considering,
It's
but,
great.
yeah.
But on the Gyökeres thing, because we should talk about the goals and everything like that, but
Yes.
just because you brought the Gyökeres thing up, the thing with that is a striker absolutely has to go for that.
Yeah.
Their coach should do that from a very young age. You've got to follow in. We all know that.
He didn't stud him in the face or anything.
No,
like that, yeah.
but I do also think that it looked nasty, right? But the problem is that in football and probably in any contact sport, you're never going to be able to totally eradicate accidents, physicality, and nor should you try to. Everyone knows the risks when they play.
There is an effort to try and cut that out.
There
though.
is, exactly,
and
over
that's
and over
what
again.
really annoys me. It's my biggest pet peeve with the game.
Well,
today.
but is that not because players are so much stronger, so much faster now? There's a safety concern in certain areas, which is why the Caicedo thing has to be a standard open and shut case red card.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's definitely an element of that in terms of the physicality, but I think the bigger thing is the fact that there are people in Stockley Park and the FA who want to control every single aspect.
Is
of
it the
the
pen
game.
pushers at City Hall, David?
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's them.
I think they understand, David, when he goes out there with his badge and his gun every day, the danger he's in.
No, I don't.
They don't know what proper street policing's like, do they?
They don't know what it's like on the front lines.
No, they don't.
And I've heard, David, that their end goal is actually to make football basically like volleyball, just 2 teams either side of a net.
I heard it's 15-minute cities.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I mean, you're joking, but seriously, I think there's
I am
substance to this.
joking. Yeah.
Do you know that the Stockley Park officials are putting they're doing stuff to the water supply as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, to turn all the players gay.
Again, these
yeah.
things aren't news to you.
And I won't tell you what's going on in the Carabao Cup, but you can probably guess.
Yeah.
But back
But
to
the
the
prize
match.
money makes it worth it.
It really does. It
yeah.
really does. You get a big
But,
sponsor like that.
on the Caicedo thing, it's not like he's tried to hurt him. I get that.
Like,
I don't think he's tried to do that, but he's got to go.
Right. But in such an intense game where the yellow cards are being dished and so on and so forth, a man who has struggled big time with injuries over the years came through it unscathed and was absolutely fantastic. We know his quality. Reece James.
Yeah.
I mean, what a player. I've really enjoyed the season, him coming back into the side and now playing much more regularly. He was kind of brought back in. He would sort of start, was it, I can't remember, was it last season or whenever it was, every other game he would kind of start, and he was brought in as sub, because I remember thinking, why is that guy not starting every week? He's one of their best players. But of course it was to kind of manage the workload. Now we're seeing him really, really kind of get up to speed. And in this game, David, the way he's deployed as well.
Yep.
Oh, he's such a phenomenal player. I mean, before all these injuries and so on, you go all the way back to the Champions League final that they won under Tuchel, where he kept, was it Raheem Sterling, would it have been on that flank quiet? Or, you know, and you remember some of these performances and you thought, this guy's one of the best fullbacks in the world.
Of course he is.
But he's not
Absolutely.
just a fullback now.
No, he's
He's
so
all
much
things
more.
to all people.
Yeah, I mean, but look, he's played in midfield as well. I
Yeah.
think the first time I ever saw him, strangely enough, was a game between Millwall and Wigan.
Right.
And he was playing centre mid then, and he was roaming about that, and he just a wonderful footballer, very gifted, and he always has been. Look, no one's ever had any doubts over the ability of Reece James. It's just always been injuries.
Yeah.
It's really, really unfortunate because you're kind of been robbed of a really, really great talent, I think. But yeah, it's great to see that he can hold up in a game of this intensity, because you probably won't be in a more intense game than this one. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I could go on and on about James, but there were lots of other good performers as well, particularly on that Chelsea side. But it was Trevor Chalobah who got the goal, Luke Moore.
He was.
And I mean, bearing in mind he was loaned out to Palace, obviously, last season, and they brought him back.
And came back in quite weird circumstances.
Yes, exactly,
And seemed like he didn't really want to come back either.
Yeah.
I think he was quite disappointed to not be able to get that move that he was after. But he's been important. I mean, he's contributed actually quite a lot this season for Chelsea.
He's been in and out the England squad a little bit as well.
That's a vital goal for them. I said to you guys on the WhatsApp at the time, if Chelsea close this out after the sending off, and then the scoring after they went down to 10 men, I said if Chelsea close this out, it'd be the performance of the season.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't do that, but they were pretty good all round, and I thought that Chalobah was a part of that. On the Reece James thing, when all those right backs started coming through, English right backs, it felt like James was the pick of them.
Well, Carl Walker said he is my successor
because he's got no obvious weakness in his game.
No.
And the kind of dual role you have to perform as a fullback now means you've got to be good at all of it. And he is good at all of it. And the only thing is as David's mentioned, his body started to let him down. But seeing him step into midfield there, as he has been, and in such a big game as well, when the best team in England are coming to town and flourishing like that, is an amazing testament to his ability. It also gave Chelsea a lot more flexibility when they were down to 10 men because of how defensive-minded he can be. So they could then just drop Fernandes deeper to replace Caicedo, play with 2 wide forwards and 1 striker, and James and Fernandes could essentially just do that shielding which they needed. Didn't quite get over the line. I think, weirdly enough, I think they'll be disappointed not to have won the game.
I know what you mean. I think
because the way they conceded, I thought was a bit disappointing.
But I think all things considered, and obviously they're chasing Arsenal, so a victory would have been a real statement and obviously a little bit of ground, back on Arsenal. And I know lots of Chelsea fans, understandably, have been sort of keen or quick to cool any title talk chat. But I mean, you've got to say, that there is a chance. I think Arsenal, obviously in pole position, still not quite convinced by Man City in terms of winning a title, although they're in there as well. But yeah, this was so good from Chelsea. And you look at that side, even Sanchez, where there's been question marks over the goalkeeper before, he's kind of stepped up a bit this season, I would say.
Stepped right up into Gyökeres's studs.
Well, more the other way around, but okay.
Yeah.
But I think that, again, one thing that has been clear throughout parts of the season, but definitely you saw it in the Barcelona game and Arsenal game this week, was the togetherness of that squad. Because you don't get performances like that if you don't have a great togetherness. They look like they enjoy playing together, the way they celebrate together. These are all just little key indicators, I think. And even when, as I mentioned, when Liam Delap scored against Barcelona, they were absolutely delighted for him.
Yeah.
So I think we've said recently, or I certainly have, I always wanted a little bit more out of this Chelsea side. They've got a bit of quality there. They're just slightly hit and miss at times. Whereas I just think this last week you kind of go, look, that's what they're capable of. It's difficult to keep that intensity up all season, but that's what you got to do if you're going to go the distance. But I mean, you have to say that at the moment it does feel pretty good at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, of course. I think everything's really good there in terms of the way you look at it right now. I mean, they'll always want. I think looking around to January, they'll be linked to more players. They'll try and add continuously. Of course they will, because they'll want to keep this up. But like you said, look, it's really commendable because they've got a big squad there. There's a lot of interchangeable in the lineup each week and what have you. But generally, they seem like a really good atmosphere and a good bond there. And it's a real smattering of players as well. Like you say, you got Chalobah, who's come through the academy, and then you got other players like Neto and everything who have come in as well. So they've got a nice mix there.
Do you think, because David, you were kind of alluding on Friday, I don't want to be unfair to you because you were more explicit off air. So if you don't want to be more explicit, you don't have to be.
No, happily, yeah.
But on Friday, you were alluded to the fact they might get found out, they might fall over at some point.
I think absolutely. I think just purely through the style that they have.
Right.
I think they can get caught because they can sometimes sit in too deep. They can sometimes encourage too much pressure onto them. And I think that could potentially be an issue towards the end of the season. And I keep bringing this up all the time, and I sound like a broken record, but there's the Club World Cup encounter as well. And there's going to be a fatigue. I'm interested to see them over the Christmas period. I'm interested to see them just at the start of the new year as well, and where they are there and how they handle this.
Yeah, but you've still got Cole Palmer to come back, so he would give them a lift. I mean, you might say, well, where might he fit in? But I get what you're saying, David. I think for me, I wonder though if these players as we've seen this week, they can get themselves up for the really big games. It's about now when they play,
That's
they got
right.
Leeds next.
Yeah.
It's about those types of games.
And all those things together, I mean, what you're saying and what David's saying, like
Yeah.
the next 3 games, they go to Leeds on Wednesday night, which is traditionally a very intense game, Leeds-Chelsea.
Yes, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Then they go to Bournemouth at the weekend, and they go to Atalanta in the Champions League.
Yeah.
They've got 3 away games in a row coming up. And this Christmas period will be intense. I mean, throughout December, I'm just looking now, they're playing 2, 4, 6, 8 games in December. You know, so it's gonna at some point maybe it's gonna perhaps catch up with them. But I was going to ask you, Marcus, do we? It's a weird one to assess from Arsenal's point of view, but do we kind of end up giving Arsenal a good amount of credit for thinking, blimey, Chelsea are at it here. They're really on it.
Yeah.
And I know they're down to 10, and I know we've had the advantage from having an extra man, but maybe they come away from it thinking, oh, we'll take a point all day long there.
It's been an intense week for them.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously Bayern as well. I think they go away thinking, okay, all right, fine. That one's out of the way now. I think that's how you look at it. I don't think you're going to be celebrating that point.
But you automatically think if you're top of the league and you're clearly the best team in the division, and your opposition gets a red card so early,
Of course, yeah.
you think we've got to make that count.
Well, you do. And you know, they got Arsenal with the set piece, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was really interesting how Chelsea set up with the set pieces. I mean, there was that moment, wasn't there, when I remember watching it, as a lot of people were, thinking, there's hardly anybody in the box because Chelsea put 3 up front, which made Arsenal kind of put players out. They don't have Gabriel in there, as we know, and how potent he is from set pieces. But Chelsea defended it well, and that could act as a blueprint for other sides. Defending Arsenal with corners.
Yeah, but the problem is if you try and defend like that and you haven't got the players Chelsea,
I was going to say, you have to have a group. You have to have a group of units to be able to do that, to combat them and everything. So I think that's the key important. We did it with Sunderland against Arsenal. We did it as well, and we matched them up. So Ballard's in there crashing about and what have you, and you're kind of like, okay, we can go toe to toe with them here on that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think Arsenal. Yeah, I think they go, okay, it's a point. It's not a lot. I think they'd have lost. My goodness. I mean, Mikel Merino's goal was, you know, it was one of the few times that Saka got the better of Cucurella, because Cucurella was excellent against him. Yeah. But when Saka puts that ball in, you know it's going in the net unless it's an absolute howler. They nearly won it when was it Timbers who took it off Gyökeres's head, which would have been an absolute sickener for Arsenal fans, wasn't it? Like I say, I think they look at this and think, okay, fine. We've got a point. It's going to be one of our most difficult games this season. We're still top of the league. We've still got a handful of points in there, and also they did it without Saliba and Gabriel. I know Gabriel is a, you know, he's going to be out for a little bit.
They've got to get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think they would take some heart with how their both centre halves played. Actually,
they settled into it. I thought they got a bit stretched at the start. They looked very uncoordinated at the start, and then they gradually settled in.
Yeah, they did a bit. Yeah, because João Pedro had one which takes it first time.
I think they were surprised by how. I mean, there's a bit of a theme. Maybe we'll come on to it throughout the show today. There's a bit of a theme of intensity of start catching other teams by surprise.
It can do.
Man City did it with Leeds. Newcastle certainly did it with Everton.
Fulham did it with Spurs.
Fulham did it with Spurs. They did though.
But in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier, perhaps more easily done on that more fertile ground, you know, to pull up a few delicious ripe carrots. But they did do it. It was a theme of the weekend, and I thought, although Chelsea didn't score early, they certainly did catch Arsenal by surprise. They did, which is one of those things which is obviously much easier said than done. But they matched up to Arsenal and said, "You're having a game today, lads. Whether you like it or not, you're not going to get. If you go away with 3 points here, you're going to do it the hard way." And I think it had an effect. And I think that Chelsea, you know, it's a weird thing to think about, but they had more shots than Arsenal, despite the fact that they played the majority of the game with one fewer man. So I think it's one of those weird games where both teams come out of it with great credit, actually. I thought it was a great advert for the league. I thought it was brilliant. It was such a great, entertaining game to watch for a neutral. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think as well that when Caicedo does get the red card, I mean, there's still, you know, you're not far off half time. I think Arsenal are thinking to themselves, okay, now they're going to do that. Let's feel them out. Let's see what's going on. It's like, woof, oh, they've still got it. They've still got this intensity. So I think, yeah, it was excellent.
They're a reflection of their manager, aren't they? Bit mad.
Definitely.
Very intense. Volatile.
Yeah. They can manage going down to 10 really well because of the way they set up as well with their blocks. So they're happy to do it. Everton did it really well against Man United as well. And they showed, losing a man early on doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the end of the world in the game. You can still produce on the break and what have you.
An easier task, but yes, I totally take your point. Yeah, so look, a great game, and I think Arsenal, you know, you're going to get the odd result here and there throughout the season. Like to be fair, I know Stadium of Light's a difficult place to go now, but they get a point there rather than all three. You kind of go, well, okay, you will drop a couple of points here and there.
Yeah, because the only game they've lost this season is a Liverpool game where that was a narrow one as well.
Exactly.
Amazing goal.
And we beat Chelsea as well. So Arsenal look out and say, we got a point there. They got beat at home by them. So look at things like that.
Totally.
And Lord out towards the end of the season.
And they're still 5 points clear at the top.
Yeah.
After 13 games, I think Arsenal would have taken that. So they roll on nicely. Now, defending champions Liverpool stopped the rot with a 2-0 win at West Ham yesterday. Obviously, Isak scored his first goal. We're going to be talking more about Liverpool.
I was so pissed off with West Ham.
Yeah.
Honestly. Which is quite a familiar feeling for everyone.
Yeah.
But I know we're going to talk about it tomorrow on the mailbag. We're going to save it. So Liverpool fans don't think, they only talk about us when we lose.
Yeah. That is sort of
It is kind of true, but they've also had their fun.
Crisis
You
sells. You work in media.
we're talking about tomorrow. It's not my decision, David.
No, we're going to be talking about Liverpool on the mailbag tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about Lucas Paquetá now if you want.
Yeah.
What on earth was that about? I thought he was going to chin the referee at one point.
I'd love to see the transcript because he's come out on social media, hasn't he, Paquetá?
Yes.
Saying that he's had such a difficult time of it mentally because of the ban he had, where he wasn't found guilty of anything, and he's not had no support and all the rest of it. Which is an interesting angle, and clearly, if a player does feel like that, they should be taken seriously. But at the same time, it's like you're playing every game.
Yeah.
You're part of this team. You know what you've done there.
Yeah.
The referee. It's very rare, actually. It has happened once or twice, but it's quite rare for a referee to do that in that way. So it must have been pretty severe what he was saying.
Well, I'd
like to think it might have been that he's doing that thing that people who speak English as a second language do, where they pick up loads of swear words.
Oh yeah.
They don't know the impact of them.
Yeah.
And so he's just giving him both barrels.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I actually thought. So he there was a foul, and then he started moaning at the ref, and he got booked initially for dissent, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
And then the referee, I think, from what I gathered, explained to him, 1, 2, 3. He started pointing on the pitch. He was like, "I think you've been gobbing off all game, or you've had your fair share," kind of thing. So he books him, and obviously Paquetá's very unhappy about that.
Yeah,
but he goes on and
on.
I thought the referee was very patient with him, actually, and to the point of. Alisson, his Brazil teammate, of course, but ultimately opposition goalkeeper, comes out and tries to drag him away. Whereas Jared Bowen, the captain, has just stood there. And I was thinking to myself, Bowen, get your man away from him because he's going to talk himself into a red card.
He's probably had enough of him.
Well, maybe. Maybe he's thinking, do you know what, we could do him off the pitch. I can't be bothered hearing him go on.
I don't know what was said, right? And we still don't know. We've not seen the referee's report or anything, so we don't know what was actually said. But to put that to one side, as a general point, I think referees should do that more.
Yeah, I do.
I think
thought the referee was, as I say, very patient with him.
I think one of the first things I asked Howard Webb years ago when I interviewed him was, whenever I play football on a Saturday or a Sunday, we can't say anything to refs and we get sent off if we do. It seems like Premier League players do it all the time. And he said, it's noisy in there, you can't always hear it, and the camera angle makes it look like we're closer than we are. We don't always... I thought that was bullshit. I thought that they just let them get away with it because it would be a shit show otherwise.
Yeah.
But I think referees should be stronger on dissent. I've kind of felt like that for a long time. So maybe this will be the start of something, although I doubt it.
Yeah, well, ultimately it's a good win for Liverpool. It was a start for Joe Gomez, for crying out loud. But we are going to be talking about Liverpool tomorrow on the mailbag. So do wait. Keep your powder dry for that one. Right, coming up after this, Harry Wilson got his magic wand out at Tottenham Hotspur.
This episode is sponsored by Hire, official global partner of Liverpool Football Club. Hire has been ranked #1 global major appliances brand for 16 consecutive years, and that is because Hire products are designed to make everyday life just that little bit more personalised. With an innovative combination of performance and style, Hire has a massive range of amazing appliances. There's the washing machine that can keep your clothes fresh for up to 12 hours after a cycle has ended, so if you forget that you've left your clothes inside, and let's be honest, we've all done that and will continue to do so, then you don't need to rewash them. Then there's the oven with a built-in camera that can recognise your food and make sure it's cooked to your liking. There are smaller appliances like the kettle with a keep warm function so you don't have to keep reboiling it, or the blender that not only makes smoothies and soups but also has a kneading function that can be used to make dough. All appliances connect via the Hon app, which gives you tips on how best to stack the dishwasher, provide recipe inspiration for dinner, and get this, it can even recommend the best wine to pair with it. Hire is spelled H-A-I-E-R, and we're offering a discount on their amazing products. Just use the discount code HIREPOD for a 10% discount across the Hire website, which is www.hire.co.uk. That's HAIER.co.uk with the discount code HIREPOD.
But there's another side of it. I quite like my players fighting each other.
Well, back to the Football Ramble, everybody. Thanks to friend of the Ramble, Andrew, for sending us that clip. You can become a friend of the Ramble too by heading over to patreon.com/Football Ramble or click that join button on YouTube to get involved. Right then, Spurs 1, Fulham 2. Hey! 3 points, come on!
Full force.
Full force.
Full force are in pretty good form.
I mean, you know.
Turned it around, haven't they?
Well, you said about, how teams, start quick. All you need is a good 6 minutes. And sometimes it's enough.
But look, they were absolutely right to start the way they did. Because that is...
It should have been 3.
It should have been. Fertile hunting ground. As I said, that crowd's ready to go. They have been diabolical.
They're ready to go. They're ready to go on the walk to the ground before.
Yeah.
They are ready. Honestly, the slightest little indecision.
But you can understand because it's fast becoming Spurs. Similar to Manchester United in that, is it the unmanageable club? I mean, I really talked up Frank. And look, it's early days-ish still with Frank. I think it would be harsh to go too far in because it's an enormous job. But I've not done himself the most... Or he's not done himself the best of favours with a couple of tactical setups, particularly at Arsenal. But I thought they need a manager, Premier League proven, pragmatic, all the rest of it. And Frank still could come good there. But if it carries, as we always say, if it carries on like this, it's just about like, what on earth do you do? I mean, the vibe around there. Fulham started obviously quickly. The first goal is fortuitous. Well, so is the second goal, really. Fulham don't score many goals. That's their problem. It was a great win against Sunderland, but it was just by the one goal, and it took it till 83 minutes. Fulham are not a potent side. After, I think it was 25 minutes, it was definitely within half an hour, I messaged in the crowd was saying, this should be done with.
Oh, it should be.
It should be 3-0.
Yeah. Should have been.
Should be all over, because I thought Spurs are going to come back in the second half.
But can I just talk about how, when you
on.
talk about how he sets them up,
Yeah.
I take the point about the Arsenal game, and the Chelsea game I've done to death. I won't do that again. But there's also another element to this where if you play with that lack of intensity and that kind of passivity against any team, I would even extend it to if they get drawn against a moderately good League One team in the cup, and they play with that passivity, they'll get hurt.
Of course they will.
They'll get badly hurt, right? So the second goal is the second goal, and obviously you love Harry Wilson. It was a great finish by him, great instinctive finish. Good on it. You can go to town on that for all you like. For me, the first goal is really indicative because it's a symptom of the way they are as a team at the moment, and that is they got no intensity at all in defending. And if you look at how what Udogie does when the ball comes to Kenny Tete, it's what it really reminded me of. If you're walking in the park with your wife or whatever, and there's some kids playing football, and the ball comes over to you. Oh yeah, I've passed that back to them.
Yep.
It was like that level of energy.
Yeah.
It was like he didn't want to let go of his girlfriend's hand to go to the ball. It was so bad.
And he's a good player.
He's a great player.
So how come he's playing like that?
It was so bad.
Because
it was so bad. It's unforgivably bad. Like you can't not close a ball down like that.
I think he's one of several players who don't like the way that they are playing. They've got no enthusiasm for the way they're playing. So and that transmits.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. So do you, I mean, obviously it's up to the manager to galvanise the side and so on and so forth. But and I don't want to be sort of naive here, but for crying out loud, you put on the shirt, it's your job. You're representing that club. You have got to have a bit more about you. Okay, fine. You may not like.
It looks like I don't believe in the way he wants
to play. No, of course,
though.
but it's like going into a shit job that you hate. You haven't got much enthusiasm for it. You go in, you're just like, ugh, you're there. And it's genuinely that attitude from a few players.
He's got a ramble in his mind.
He loves it.
Yeah, exactly. He lives for it.
Craig
David, isn't he born to do it?
That's it. Well, you should have seen what I was like before I started doing this.
Yeah, I'd love to see you on the Just Eat advert. Doing a bit of rapping.
No, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. But that's the thing though with Frank, and we've only got really Brentford to go on, and a very small sample size this season. He knew how to get his players playing up and at him.
But the expectation is different.
Exactly.
So do you feel
so
then this is a manager who's out of his depth? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's probably harsh. But I think I know quite a lot of Spurs fans. People listen to this show regularly. Know I go to Spurs a fair amount. There are rumblings now among people who support Spurs, whose football opinion I actually respect, saying job looks a bit too big for him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's going to be able to turn this around. And I don't think that's an assessment of his character or anything like that, because I think it's eminently believable that he could go on to do something here, or if not, he can go and have a good time at another job. But it's a classic example of the difference between managing Brentford and managing Spurs. Another example I'd probably use is Roy Hodgson.
Well, that
Going
led
from
to
Fulham to
Moyes to Man United.
Was it Fulham to Liverpool he went to?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and what he said subsequently is, I'll probably try to teach really good players with loads of experience them too much, and it just switched them off. I didn't want to know about it. I felt like if I had my time again, I'd do it totally differently.
So I take that point, but I don't think that's the gap between Frank and what he's done in Spurs, especially after last season.
You can't. But the thing is, the point I'm making in terms of the mentality is, and this is going to sound really disrespectful to Brentford, who's a club that I like, and I think they deserve an immense amount of credit for what they've done. But you can set up at home if you're Brentford to play reactively against anyone you like.
Sure.
No one's going to care.
Yeah.
And if you lose, the fans will care, right? And maybe if you lose 6 in a row, people will start to notice.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Brentford could set up at home to Wolves this season under Frank and play totally reactively and no one would notice. You can't do that at Spurs.
I get
and you
that.
can't do that at home.
So
and the problem is when you've got no ball carrier and no one who can take the impetus to the other team because Simmons looks like he's struggling to...
Simmons was meant to be the man to do that.
And he's not doing it.
And that hasn't transpired. So.
Kudos has done it a bit, but he got marked out the game. He gets marked out the game against good teams, and he obviously scored a good goal here against Fulham.
But you can only do so much.
And he's pretty game. You've got other players like Bergvall who he got injured at an inconvenient time, got a bit of a concussion, came back, looked okay actually against Fulham. Archie Gray is not that type of player, and he's been in and out the side. Paulinho is limited with the ball at his feet. Benton Core's lost 1.5 yards since he's had injuries.
Come on,
isn't that
Joel.
player either?
Come
Isn't that player either? Richarlison and Muani, Muani cost 95 million euros at one point, but he can't really be blamed for the situation they're in. Richarlison is Richarlison. Mickey van der Ven is fucking Michael Caine and the Muppet Christmas Carol at the back. He's the only one taking it serious, right? He's the only one actually doing stuff. None of the others are actual human beings. Mickey van der Ven is defending like he's playing with players that only he can see.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, that tackle he made on Chukwueze to stop. I mean,
he's playing like he's running around the jungle looking for fucking Christian Romero. Screaming to get him back, and obviously he wasn't able to play.
I totally take the points there. However, a lot of these players, I mean, Spurs will be are the biggest club they've ever played for. So it's not like you have a team full of superstars going, "Oh, why are we playing like this?" I mean, you mentioned Kudus there. We came from West Ham, so. So the gap between... So I get the Hodgson to Liverpool, very obvious one. Moyes to Man United, another very obvious one. But Frank to Spurs... I'd just be surprised. Like, are the players really going, "Oh, come on, we're so much better than this"? Particularly after what they did last season.
All right, well, that's
but
fine.
they won a cup last season as well. Did they win a trophy or not?
Did they beat a load of teams that they should be beating on the way to do it?
Absolutely. Did they win the trophy though? Yes. They won the trophy. So players are kind of like, "Oh,
yes,
should
they
be
did, David."
Well, you watched them play against your club. What do you think? You watched them on Saturday night. What do you think?
Tell me
what you think about it then.
Well, I thought they were piss poor, obviously, but the point is about why the players not playing for the manager. Why are they suddenly all?
I think they're also scared. By the way,
they want to play. They want to play better football.
I think, David. I also think they're a bit scared. I think when they play at home. They're and when I say scared, I don't mean they're physically scared. I mean they're very tentative. And
still a hangover from last season.
No, maybe, but to understand why, you have to go there and you have to experience what it's like there. And we can talk if you like about the Thomas Frank comments about Vicario.
I was going to say
that's relevant.
I was going to say Vicario really copped it from the fans.
Yeah,
out of all the players.
Do you want to read the quote?
Well, so
first?
he said, I didn't like the fact that our fans booed Vic straight after and a few times when he touched the ball. That can't be true. Tottenham, everyone supports each other when they're on the pitch and does everything that we can perform after the game. If the fans want to boo, no problem, but not during. That's unacceptable.
So my assessment.
I actually agree with him.
Well, it's not going. I mean,
it's not going to help.
No, it's not going to help. The fans pay their money. The
You
usual
sarcastically cheer like England fans did when David Seaman caught the ball that time. But, No. I do think that's. But how's that going to help your goalkeeper?
My theory about this, my hot take or whatever, and chime in, guys, if you don't agree, is that Spurs fans are frustrated despite the Europa League win. They're frustrated because they get fed a load of shit all the time by the ownership about this stadium will do this for us. This manager will do this for us. We're spending money to bring this player in, he's going to do this for us. And they're an amazing PR machine, Spurs, and they're an amazing commercial machine, right? And so they're used to being essentially gaslit over and over again. Now, there's no Levy there anymore.
Yeah.
So the first thing they would do is break glass and reach for the Levy protest.
Pull the Levy.
They pull the Levy. They can't do that anymore, right? And they probably don't necessarily feel like they can boo Thomas Frank at this point because he's too early, and maybe they will start to do that in the coming weeks. So Vicario's an easy target. Goalkeepers generally are easy targets, and when he does what he did for that second goal against Fulham, it's just a pressure release. It's just a pressure. It's a valve. It's a pressure valve. They're ready to go. They want to boo someone. It's not. It's Arsenal towards the end of Wenger is what it is at the moment. And the only thing that's going to sort it out is them going up the league table and winning games and essentially being a top 4 side. And they look miles off it. They look miles off it. And, and look at the other evidence markers, which is away from home. Yeah. They're actually pretty good because they're okay to be reactive and they're away from the pressure of their own fans.
I think the fans would accept losing a bit more if they played a better brand of football. So if they were a bit more, if they were a bit more exciting, I reckon the fans would go, all right, lay off. I can see what they're trying. I can see what they're doing.
But do you think they're sort of hamstrung a bit with this the Tottenham way or whatever?
I know, but everybody's got the way. The West Ham have got the West Ham way. Tottenham have got the Tottenham way. You know what I mean? Like that. It's like Man United got the Man United way. Oh, you should play in 4-4-2. Like,
well, but I think
everyone's got that.
But with Spurs, it does feel like a big hindrance.
I know, but what's the Spurs way?
I don't think they're booing about that. Marcus, I don't think they're booing about that. Okay. I don't think they're frustrated about that. Right. I think they're frustrated for the reasons I've said, and that's my assessment based on going there quite a lot.
Okay.
I don't think it's like, we wish we could knock the ball around and run around and play this amazing free flowing football, because I think West Ham say that, as David says, and I don't know.
But you feel ultimately the club is all fur coat and no knickers at this point.
Basically,
yeah.
And leave it. And look, what does Sky Sports fucking director do? Every 5 minutes, when this kind of game happens on Saturday night, it would cut to Daniel Levy in the stand. Yeah. Well, you can't do that anymore.
The funny thing is though, like in the opposite dugout, Marco Silva, he is a manager, and I don't want to say this because I love the man and I want him to stay at Fulham for a long time. He may well move. He may well leave at the end of the season
to Spurs.
To Spurs by this point. Well, I thought he was going to go to Man United, but Amorim seems to have.
Frank would be delighted to hear that. I've got a job to the end of the season. Cheers.
Yeah. The magic Marco is coming in.
But I think with Silva, you have a manager there who is. He's okay, fine in the Premier League. He's not managed any of the huge clubs or the clubs who have got realistic ambitions for Champions League. But he is a manager who always punches. Well, not always, but he often punches above his weight. He certainly has with Fulham. And the way he plays and the way he sets up the team, it's like he's got better players at his disposal. And I think he would be primed to take over.
Yeah, congratulations, Spurs. You've just made exactly the same mistake again.
I was going to say, he's in the Frank situation. He's performed above expectations.
No, I think he's different to Frank. I think he's got way more.
I'd be interested to hear it.
But he's got way more experience than Frank. On his CV. And as I say, the way Silva sets up, I think his frustrations are, if I had better players, I'd be able to get more out of these. I don't think he sets up in the same way as Frank does. It's right, okay, I've only got these players, so therefore we'll play like this. Silva, it's always like, right, come on, lads, because, if you were elite players, this is what we could do. And I think he's always looking up rather than down.
I don't think he's saying that to them, is he?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
So you think that
if you were good, this would be brilliant.
So you think, just out of interest, this is a hypothetical here. Just say Slot went at the end of the season.
No, because I think Liverpool, I think Spurs or Man United at the moment is more his level. I think Liverpool would be too much.
Okay, then Amorim goes at the end of the season.
Yeah,
Marco Silva comes in. What brand of football is he going to play if he goes to Man United? He's not going to play what he's playing in Fulham. Are you saying he's going to play more expansive?
No. I think he will play similar to Fulham, but with better players, he would obviously get more of it. And I would, but I don't want to talk this into existence because, as I say, I'm very happy with him at Fulham. 200th game as a Fulham manager. That was what a victory.
And they did what they had to do. I mean,
which was in the first 6 minutes.
Yeah, just sniff it out. We can put them under pressure, work really hard, get them scared, which worked. Yeah. And they should have been 3-0 up after 15 minutes. Yeah, and they closed it out. So I should say, by the way, before we move on, Spurs were markedly better towards the second half of the second half. And it's not difficult to be better than they've been at home recently. But there was quite an obvious improvement in how they played, I thought, for a large part of the second half. So I mean, slim pickings, I guess, but you got to be fair.
You got to be fair.
In the Burnley game, still Spurs' only win at home.
Yeah,
that's one win. That's so
in the league. Yeah.
If you're and just to go in at the frustration aspect, if you're a Spurs season ticket holder, You've only seen them win once in 3 months.
Yeah.
Well, that's rough.
After all the shit you get told.
Well, it really is. We're going to turn our attention more to the bottom of the league now because Man City beat Leeds United 3-2. Obviously, Man City towards the top, but it's a sickener for Leeds. And when other teams around them are picking up the odd point, I mean, they're still in the relegation zone. I mean, it's funny. Fulham have won 3 of their last 4, 9 points, and they're only 6 points above the relegation zone, which shows you how kind of competitive it is. Because I mean, 3 wins, at this stage last season, that'd probably be it. You know what I mean? You could be home and dry. So it's much more competitive down there. But Leeds gave a really good account of themselves. However, we do have to start, I think, the chat with Phil Foden, scored in the first and 91st minute for Man City. Luke, he said he wanted to prove that he can still score goals.
Yeah,
I don't think too many doubted him, but fair play to him.
At the end.
Yeah, there you are. Bookended it
like a killer in a movie.
Yeah.
Opening scene, kill someone.
Boom.
Final scene, I'm back. Kill someone.
And he got away with it.
Phil Foden bookends.
Yes,
available
exactly.
in the Man City club shop.
Well, because we know what he did last season.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was the
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Is that where you're going with it? Yeah. Great reference. What year was that? Someone look it up. What year was I Know What You Did Last Summer? Because it'd be right in the middle of the 90s. I reckon it's 1995. Tell me what year
I
it
reckon
is.
you give me 97 for that.
What is it? 97.
Hey,
there we go.
there
There we go.
Be here now.
Listen, new listeners. It's as modern as it gets. Look, I mentioned earlier they went after him early, and it does show the intensity of the league, doesn't it? Like, teams are right at it from the very start. There was no kind of feeling it out. But I do feel like, and a lot of people feel like this, City are vulnerable.
Well, they are totally.
Like, it's kind of unthinkable in the kind of the pomp of Guardiola's Man City. They go 2-0 up at home to a promoted side, and you think, oh, not sure about this. Next goal's massive. But the next goal was massive. And the way that Leeds scored it was a real lack of intensity from the defender, and he gets just nipped off him.
He got out bundled by Dominic Calvert.
It was like he didn't know he was there.
Yeah.
And then he got out muscled by a human feather.
Yeah, the amazing thing is when he goes in for that tackle, right, he fouls him, the penalty's given, and then Gvardiol wins the ball.
Yeah.
And so he at the end, eventually he won the ball.
That's the second goal. That's the second goal.
Oh, sorry, that's the second
The first goal, he gets nipped off his toe.
Yes, he does. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead there.
Yeah. So Guardiola had quite the afternoon.
Well, he did, yeah. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I mean, that was, but for the penalty, though, that was just sensational.
Yeah.
Because I will get this ball. I'll prove you all wrong. VAR that we really don't need to. There was quite literally too much time from the foul to you winning the ball.
Yeah, that's a lot of leads now given up by City this season. When they could be finishing off teams, they just don't. Then they come out in the second half. They kind of meander about and plod about in midfield, just knocking it about.
Similar to what Liverpool were doing at the very start of the season when they were winning and scoring late goals.
Yeah, and then Leeds are like, oh, we'll have a go. And then they get the goal, and then that really encourages them. Like, right, we can actually get something from this. So they really, really got it. And then it's individual brilliance that gets City out of it.
Yeah, but it's mad to think that, though, David, that Man City are second in the league. And we're talking about them being a bit vulnerable and so on. Because, again, we've been conditioned in the last handful of seasons that obviously last season the team who finished first, Liverpool, were not perfect, but they were not far off it. And then the previous seasons, the top two, whether it's Man City, Arsenal, or Liverpool, Man City, have been pretty much perfect. So to see a team who have already lost 4 games this season, who were nearly pegged back there by Leeds, a second. This, so it's a fascinating one, really.
It's a big testament to why Arsenal win the league this season.
Well,
because no
indeed.
one else is reliable enough.
Yeah.
And I think I said this after the Newcastle game, and I thought I saw evidence of it again here with the Gvardiol goal, particularly the first one, the Dominic Calvert-Lewin goal. I think they've got a massive lack of physicality, Man City. I think you look at the middle of the pitch, the 5 players playing behind Haaland, Reinders, Gonzalez, Silva, Doku, and Foden. Good players, obviously really good players, great ball players, but you wonder whether that I think you'd be very, very surprised if, say, Man City could have dealt with the physicality of what Chelsea and Arsenal brought the next day.
No, I don't think they could.
And I think that's what's probably holding them back.
Their Rodri injury has just really done them over.
Yeah.
As a unit, as a team, it's astounding that one player has been lost, but it feels like it's changed.
Do you reckon it's as simple as that?
It can't be. It just
Why-
can't be as simple
why
as
can't
that.
it
Because it's such a psychological thing. I understand that a player makes a difference. I think De Bruyne as well is another one because, again, you were in trouble giving him. I know he was there last season.
He does. He's part of the. So there's two things of way to defend. You can keep possession and retain possession, and how you use the ball. And De Bruyne did that. But there's also how you break it up and distribute after. And Rodri did that. Rodri is that good that I think he leaves that big of a hole in that team. If you lose one of the best centre midfielders in the world, for me, when the best centre midfielder in the world at the time, then it's going to leave you very, very vulnerable, and teams can take advantage of that. Or that unit isn't there in the midfield anymore. We can actually get at them.
So if Arsenal lost Declan Rice this season, would you be like, oh, they're going to have a wobble like this?
I
don't think they would.
Oh no, I think they could. I feel he's
Right, if they want me to find out,
No, but
someone shank him.
I feel he's the player who would impact more. So they could lose Saka, and I feel they could rebound from it. But if they
Definitely.
lost
They
Rice,
have, but they have lost Saka.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I feel if they lost Rice, it would really, really rock them.
I don't think it would rock them that much. And the reasons for that is because Arsenal are in the ascendancy. They are hungry for that title. This Man City side, they've won everything. And they've won league titles. I think inertia's set in, and I think it's set in with the manager as well. I thought he was going to go, when was it now? When Tuchel got the England job, and Guardiola was seriously tempted, wasn't he? There were talks reportedly between the FA and Guardiola.
You'd know, mate. There's no one going to know more about this than you.
Well, yeah. I don't know whether my sources are letting me down or not.
Listening with the cup against the wall, touching yourself.
But I maybe I need to play them more with inflation. I don't know. But a couple of silvers doesn't seem to cut the mustard anymore. But I think with Guardiola, I see him. I said it. I bored everybody with this before, but to me, it's gone. It's not there. This indestructible, the way they were playing under him. You're in the kind of latter stages of the empire.
It's
now.
late stage capitalism,
and you're on the wane. And yes, of course, with that squad, with that manager, you're always going to be able to compete to an extent. But I mean, losing the cup final as well last year, that doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't happen a couple of years ago.
And I think we're all delighted that Palace won for them. But that, to me, all that is just as important, if not more important, than whether Rodri's there or not. I grant you that if Rodri's there, that would make some difference. But I think just to say it's Rodri and just personnel, I think there's more going on. The same way with Liverpool. We'll talk about them tomorrow.
I get it, and I thought it was quite interesting this game. He left his substitutions very late before he made his first change. Clearly, he is
75 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah. Clearly, he is burned by midweek. Rotating the team heavily, nobody stepped up, and he's kind of like, well, you know what? Forget it, the lot of you. Do you know what I mean? You've ruined your chance to get in.
He did say
this
some
team.
odd stuff in that Sky Sports interview. I implore anyone to
he
check it
always
out.
does. He's an odd bloke, man.
He
He
is
says
an odd
some
bloke,
strange stuff.
But it was like, yeah, he does. I totally agree. But he was saying stuff like, one of the questions he got from a fan was like, how much preparation do you do for games now? And he said something like, when I was a young coach, it was obsessive. I watched tape after tape after tape. Now I don't watch much tape.
He just wings it.
He asks AI,
Yeah.
how should I
Maybe
set up
that's
against
ChatGPT,
these? That's
maybe.
what he's doing.
Maybe it is. Well, I mean, it was Daniel Farke who was the one who was tinkering in that second half. I mean,
a lot of topics to get through.
Well, exactly. And what did they say? Phil Foden said, he said they changed their system in the second half and we couldn't get going. When there was a short break, the manager got us together and we adapted to their formation. Now that
the short breaks are happening all over the place
How did
now.
that short break come about, Marcus?
Yes,
Please tell me.
indeed. So that was a topic of conversation, according to Daniel Farke. The fact is that Leeds changed the system and Man City were struggling with it is interesting. But Farke talked about Donnarumma going down. He said you can do a fake injury in order to do additional team talks. But if it's within the rules, it's smart. Is it the sense of fair play? If we don't educate our players in football, what do we do in terms of fair play sportsmanship? And you just try to bend the rules to your advantage. It's nothing I personally like. Now, the rules say that if a goalkeeper goes down, the goalkeeper obviously can't go off the pitch to get treatment and the game carries on. Danny Murphy had an odd suggestion on Match of the Day where he said, I've got an easy fix for this. It's like, what's that? Well, you just take an outfield player off and then it's even, then you carry on. But the goalkeeper's got to get the treatment. I mean, if you want to say that an outfield player goes in goal, it would be an outrageous suggestion, but it's a more workable suggestion. But anyway,
by the way, it's worth pointing out that there's so many teams doing this now.
It's
not just
and
Man
there's
City
absolutely nothing wrong with it.
And one of the
there's nothing wrong with
it.
it.
He says it's within. He's saying it's just not cricket. Is basically his argument. But I mean, we knew that John Terry
from a German. Come on. What's next? A Frenchman? Come on. Australian.
Yeah.
Australian say it's not fair.
Maybe.
Come on.
Ange was very purist
Yeah.
about it, I thought.
If there's one th- if
I'd
it's
like
one-
to sit next to him in the ashes and see if he was a
there's
purist
one
about
thing-
that.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
No,
right,
no.
yeah.
Over the recent years here in Britain, we've got nothing. I know that. But
Yeah.
the one thing we have got
Yeah.
is an understanding of what fair play is.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Look at the fair play trophies that we've got from World Cups.
Exactly.
But the other thing was that we know that there were these rules were there to be used in your
Players will always, teams will always.
because it was what John Terry said about Jose Mourinho.
Exactly.
He said if two players go down, and John Terry admitted that, didn't he? He said, who was it? Ivanovic or one of his defenders went down, and Mourinho was like wanting to talk to the players. So Terry went, "Well, I better go down as well then."
Yeah.
And you can't stop the game if there's two.
If there's a new rule brought in, I'm completely for this. If there's new rules, when you get the IFAB list at the start of the season, you have the team meeting. These are the new
Great
rules.
day, innit, when that comes
Oh,
out.
no, it's honestly, classic.
People at ESPN are fucking loving it.
I was going to
Christmas has come
say
early.
the night
Yeah.
before, I cannot sleep. I'm that excited.
yeah. Oh.
Anyway, so
what are
what
they going to do with the 6-second rule this year?
So your team meeting, you'd highlight the new rules that are coming in.
They must be doing that, surely.
They will, but I'd look at every single one and say, how can we bend this rule?
Yeah.
How can we do something? How can we do this? It's the sensible, smart thing to do. So fucking fair play. Shut up, man. It's
Yeah.
football. You want to
Shut
win.
up, man.
You're trying to win a game, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, fair point.
One thing his team did, they stopped Haaland scoring his 100th Prem goal. Guardiola said he'll do it in the next game, which is against Fulham.
Yeah.
Oh, will they?
Yeah. They probably will.
Probably. Yeah. Damn it all. They've used up that one. All right. Coming up after this, Andy Carroll still got it. Now, David, you've been very patient. Sunderland 3, Bournemouth 2. Another fine victory for the Black Cats. Came from 2-0 down, of course. Shame that Tyler Adams' goal is one of the great forgotten goals. Beauty it was.
Yeah.
But Sunderland cannot be denied. They've got 12 points from losing positions in the Premier League this season. It shows you the character.
They never know they're beaten.
No, they don't. No, they can't and won't be denied. It was fantastic effort second half. It really, really was. It was a new system as well. Moved out of the 5 at the back, decided to go 4 at the back as well. Enzo Lafine at centre midfield, who was marvellous. Man of the match.
I love that how a manager could just switch it up. Whereas at Man United, a year into Amorim's reign, I don't know, but you got to understand, some of them are not used to playing 3 at the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. Yeah, carry on.
So
Sorry.
honestly,
He's looking through the IFAB list. Can we allowed to change formation? Can we change format? There's nothing on there.
But back four would mean I'd need 12 men on the pitch. No, you can.
So, Jim, it doesn't say we can change the formation, but it doesn't say we can't.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what to do? Yeah. It's outrageous.
Oh, dear. Anyway.
Anyway.
So Sunderland,
Yeah, I was
sort of a
gonna
4-2-3-1 they were kind of playing.
Yeah, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3.
They matched up Bournemouth, just matched them up, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And then Lafitte being centre midfielder was the main thing. There's been kind of calls for that for quite a while, but he's been situated out and wide, but Romain Wundle came back, so he comes in out wide and then Lafitte can go central. And he just ran things brilliantly. And Siddiqui as well, just who we're going to lose. He's probably the person the player that Sunderland are going to lose to AFCON that they'll miss the most.
So they're going to miss 7 players, I think, more than any other team in the Premier League.
7, I'd say 4 of them are probably regular starters.
Right.
But, I mean,
That's why the manager's like, seriously, lads, we really need to rack up the points before
We've got to
AFCON.
go.
Yeah, but then it's Liverpool and City next before the derby.
Okay, we've
So-
got 4 points from that at least, I'd say.
Who's the derby against?
Middlesbrough in the Championship.
Yeah, Middlesbrough. Yeah. It's
When you got
where you derby.
Liverpool and Man City next, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We're targeting at least 4 points.
Yeah, and Liverpool get a win just before they play us as well.
You've got to play
they're
West
coming
Ham, the most unreliable club in the history of football.
back. It's where it all began against West Ham. So.
But it's amazing how kind of spirited they are. Because Bournemouth, I know they've been in bad form, but Bournemouth are a good team.
Yeah.
And to go 2-0 up in the way they did, fairly early on. I mean, you're talking about teams, again, the theme of the weekend, teams kind of going at it early and trying to get, catch teams on their heels. Bournemouth kind of did that.
Yeah.
But Sunderland was super calm, super collected, and were able to win. And it felt kind of, when they got to 2-2, it felt kind of inevitable.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there's been a few times this season where they've got 1 goal back, and then you can clearly see the players, and then the fans are kind of like, come on, get another one. And then you get it level and they're like, you can win this one, win this one. And that's what's been really good. It's so positive and encouraging. And it's a case of whoever comes to the Stadium of Light, it's kind of like, we will give them a game, no matter who it is.
It's so good.
It's a great attitude to have.
Indeed. And it's so great for the fans to know that and buy into that. Because as I say, like you love being in the Premier League. You love playing the big sides and all that, the recognisable players. but you don't want to be a passenger. You don't want to be oh well, that was a little kind of weird holiday where actually we got absolutely spanked every week.
And I think when the fans see Robbie warming up as well. So Robbie's been the super sub this season. When he's warming up and he's coming on, it's kind of like, oh, we can get something here. So you just never kind of downbeat about anything. But
what is it then? That, we've mentioned a number of times that you fancied Sunderland to stay in the league, and we, your confidence really was quite notable.
It was big.
It was but it was quite notable, and they're justifying that, of course. You said, I think last time when we spoke about Sunderland, it was just get up and then you'll be okay. What is it? Is it the way the club is run, the recruitment, the manager? What is it? I mean, all of those things.
It's genuinely all of it. It's Sunderland. Everything has never ever been aligned at once like it is right now.
They're trying to are they trying to be like a bit like Brighton?
That's where it is. They want to be the Brighton Brentford model. They want to bring players in from Europe and then potentially flip them within 2 years. That's just the remit of things. We saw it with I know he didn't come in from Europe, he came from England, but we saw it with Joe Bellingham as well. It was kind of like they knew he wasn't going to be there 5 or 6 years at the club. They knew it was like a 2-year thing. You kick on, you progress. We'll flip you, we'll sell you, and we'll bring somebody else in. And they're going to try and do that. Look, Sadiqi's been unbelievable. There's just several players who've been really good who will end up flipping at some point, and then they'll move on. What's
interesting is the player that's not going to go to AFCON is Isidore, but he's playing ahead of Brobby, and Brobby is a more fancied, more classy player than Isidore, would you say? But why is he not playing? Why is he not starting instead?
So Isidore's a better finisher. But
okay, right.
I think natural finisher. Brobby, though, is bringing the hold-up work, the physicality that you need in the Premier League.
And so he's a finisher rather than a sub.
Especially in that last half an hour.
He's going to use those Arteta terms as starters and finishers. So I was going to say he seems like that right now. But
if I was the manager, I'd say no, you're the headline act. That's how I'd spin it.
So, if I was Brian Brobby, I'd be saying, thank you very much. I came through the Ajax Academy. Yeah. This kid came through at Rennes. I'll have to start in Perth, thank you very much.
And I would say I'm the manager.
And he's a Dutchman, so he definitely would say that as well.
Yeah, that's
true. Confidence about
definitely. A fair play to them. Well, it's another fabulous victory for Sunderland. They march on towards the goal, which is, of course, Champions League football next season.
And you've got to spare a quick thought for the Bournemouth fans having to go all the way home after that. 2-0 up, losing 3-2.
Yeah.
All the way back down to Bournemouth.
Well, is there an argument that if you do go 2-0 up, then just leave?
Yeah. You beat the traffic.
Yeah, you beat it.
Long drive ahead of you.
You have a lovely time.
Turn the radio off. Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Yeah.
Luke, before we go, couple of things to mention. Firstly, you fancied Everton to beat Newcastle. They got absolutely hammered. Yeah. How do you respond to that?
I've put my thoughts in the running order.
Yeah.
I'll read it out for people to give them a little glimpse behind the curtain. The only reason this is in the fucking running order, the first bullet point, talking point is, Luke predicted an Everton win on Friday. And I said, I'll say to the people what I said then, no other host gets this treatment. No other host gets it.
I think I can a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. But mine are, predictions with a smile will always carry a little bit more.
The reason Everton was true. The reason Everton was so disappointing, and I never smile, is because the physical side of it is something they should be really good at. And they were bullied. They were bullied from the first minute, and Moyes will be really, really disappointed.
He will be, yeah. Nick Voltemada's goal as well. What I loved is, in that type of performance, where it's all, as you say, being bullied and so on, to bring out such a touch of class like that.
Lovely.
I love the fact he's a cult hero, and I love the fact as well that you look at him and you think he could be. I mean, I forget how old he is. I know he's a young man, but he could be like 41 as well. You know what I mean? He's very much like an early 80s type of player. When you see those players back in the late 70s, early 80s, and you're like, how is that? That man can't be below 45 years old.
Yeah. Somebody's put him up against
Bruce Forsyth.
No, not
Michael Parkinson.
No, Rudy Voller. Rudy Voller. Yeah, somebody's put him against Rudy Voller and just shown that. But he's a very, very well dressed man.
Yes,
he is.
Might have the crown for the best dressed man in the Premier League.
Oh,
there's a conversation to have at some point.
Yeah.
Get rid of that Liverpool question in the mailbag tomorrow. We'll do that. But you say cult hero.
Yeah. Already?
That's doing him a disservice because I think he's probably going to be too good for that. And I think it's a chance he could get 20 Premier League goals this season.
Fine, but the cult hero status is not like a piss-takey one. It's very much he's quality.
No, but
we also like his vibe as well.
To be a cult hero, I think you either have to stick around not that long or be ultimately a bit shit.
No, I don't think so.
All right. That's a conversation for another time.
Indeed. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall with one of... it'll be a forgotten goal, but That was Dennis Bergkamp stuff.
Is this the best season for forgotten goals already?
But I'm telling you, that Dewsbury Hall goal, it was Bergkamp-esque.
It was great.
It was quite nice.
It
Must be said.
I think you
Come
got
on.
a bit.
No, it was. It was very, very nice.
Absolutely unbelievably good goal.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
He's gone Clarkson there. He's gone full Clarkson. That's how much
Was
he
that
loved.
the BBC?
Yeah. That's Nick Hewer.
Yeah, well,
Come on,
he's
man.
always in there.
Get hold of yourself, man.
I wanted to give a mention for Malik Thiaw as well, who's must be one of the best
He's
centre
been
backs
great.
in the Premier League at the
He's been
moment.
great.
Yeah,
Absolutely outstanding.
To be fair, to mention this game and not mention him would have been quite criminal.
It would, yeah.
But that's all he's getting. Because
Yeah.
I want to move on to former Newcastle United man, Andy Carroll.
Speaking of cult heroes.
There you go. Andy Carroll scored a hat-trick for 6th tier Dagenham and Redbridge on the weekend. He's already got 6 goals for them this season. So nice to hear Andy still doing the business.
Oh yeah.
I've got a emotional kind of support plea to make to players who play it, particularly for AFC Tottenham, who he scored against, and for other players in the 6th tier.
Go on.
You should be able to ply your trade in the 6th tier, safe in the knowledge that you're not coming up against an ex-international striker who's 36 years old.
36.
He's not even that old.
I know.
Yeah, he's like younger than players in the Premier League
But
still.
I love the fact, obviously, his off-field,
Antics, say antics.
antics, but also, trials and tribulations and so on have been well done. I mean, he got fined actually the other day, just over $1,000 for filming the epic protests.
Yeah.
Some stories.
Um,
Wasn't the famous when he went and lived with Kevin Nolan?
Yeah, he
That was
did,
the
yeah.
famous
Kevin
story,
Nolan had to
wasn't
look
it?
Yeah,
after
to
him.
try and
Yeah.
kind of, so he's had his troubles off field. Fair
He's
enough.
currently trying to sell an £8 million house.
Yeah, that must be quite. That
No
must
one
be.
AFC Tottenham's doing that. I'm telling you that now.
The
And I've
used
been
to
to
be
Tottenham.
I'm just saying, spare a thought for Andy Carroll. And if you have got the money, then put your hand in your pocket and buy his house off
Make
him.
an offer.
Yeah.
Make an offer for
Yeah,
it.
get it going.
Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
listen, there's a chain.
Yeah.
There's a lot of houses need to be
Yeah,
shifted.
yeah.
Give Andy Carroll a break.
Yeah, I wouldn't normally condone gazumping,
All right,
but
which
why
Cameron
not?
might
Have a bidding war.
7.95 million.
There you go.
Start off there.
Yeah.
See how we go.
Should we have a whip around, yeah?
We
Yeah,
could-
we'll have a whip round. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there we are.
David, you're on ESPN money. You have moved down there, no problem.
No, I've got more money.